All right, after Telefero, Mr. Telefero TV. I've been vocal about trying to help my subscribers watch great TV. All right, and one of the programs that I'm watching daily, if it's not on television, 9 times out of 10 I'm watching it on my YouTube, is Colin Cowherd. All right, he's formerly worked at ESPN. He now works for Fox Sports. He has a show on FS1. It's called The Herd. He is literally, to me, the best personality doing it right now. Y'all got to understand, I worked with some of the best in the business. Anywhere on down from Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Smith. I worked hand in hand with them. I have a Stephen A. Smith story for you and a Skip Bayless story for you that will blow your mind. All right, I worked with them about 3 months when I was at ESPN, and I worked a couple weeks with First Take. Shout out to Mr. Smith for giving me that opportunity. Antoine Smith, he's a producer. Anyways, he was talking Steph Curry. And I usually agree with Colin, or at least respect his opinion. But this one I got to disagree. This is the one time that I have to disagree. He mentioned something in the matter of a conversation that he was having about Steph Curry not being as popular as he was last year, or not being talked about as much. And he was like, the thing is, people wanted Steph Curry to be the baby face because people can relate to Steph Curry. They don't relate to centers. He got into a whole spiel about how centers' shoes are not selling. They never sell. Shaq's don't sell. Yao Ming shoes don't sell. Everybody wants to be the smaller guard. Derrick Rose shoes sell better. Of course, Kobe's sell better. The smaller you are, the better chance that your shoes are going to sell. And it is what it is because people relate to smaller players, all right? People relate to something that they could be. And he was like, the average person doesn't relate to LeBron James. The average person relates to Steph Curry. And I just running through it, I was like, yeah, he right. People relate to Steph Curry. But then I really thought about that. Wait a minute. Let's really break this down. I'm sorry, Colin. Sir, you're wrong about this. Let's run through it. Well, let's look at Steph Curry's life, and let's look at LeBron James. You see, the only thing we wouldn't relate to LeBron James about is his height, which, helped him in the grand scheme of things. It made him stand out more. But he worked for his muscle. He worked to get his body in the shape that it's in. The only thing that he was gifted with that we couldn't do is get his height. We can't make ourselves taller. Other than that, I looked at Steph Curry. A lot of qualities that he has, I can't relate to. All right? The jumper is something I could have worked on. But I can't relate to somebody whose dad played in the NBA, who was privileged to being able to grow up in the NBA culture. His dad, one of the best shooters of all time. All right? Dell Curry. Steph was around that. You see pictures with Steph in those games, in those All-Star games with his dad, Dell. And that's privilege. Regardless of that's privilege. That's great privilege in this country. Well, I don't have that luxury, Colin. My reality, when I look at LeBron James, the kid from Akron, Ohio, father in and out of his life, really pretty much not in it. Mother raised him. He had to move in with people. Coaches had to help him out financially. He was broke. He met his girlfriend in high school, middle school, high school, something like that. He met his sweetheart. He stayed with her. He was able to take nothing and make it into something. That's who I relate to. The man who put his homies, and I'm not trying to knock Steph Curry at all. He's a phenomenal person. But I relate to the guy who took his homies from nothing and put them in positions of power. Now they got a whole lot of everything. All right? I don't relate to Steph Curry. I know it's easy to look at it and be like, yeah, Steph Curry is the small guy who we could be. We can all, if we put in the work, we could all shoot like Steph. We could never be as strong as LeBron James. He's 6'7", he's 6'8". I maybe could never get the height of LeBron James, but wait a minute, though. Everything else about LeBron James is obtainable. Strength, just get in the gym more. His character, who he is as a person, very attainable, but very rare. What that man represents as a person. His love, his gift, his ability to put others first in pivotal moments. His willingness to care for others, give back to colleges, and give back with his platform, help the NBA, grow the NBA, financially outsmart a lot of these owners and GMs. That's who I relate to. I don't relate to Steph. You had it all wrong, sir. I don't relate to Steph. Everything about LeBron James is human. Everything about him is down to earth. Everything about him screams a good brother. Now, if you want to take this further, we can get into the conversation of how Steph Curry is a light-skinned guy and he represents a demographic that a lot of fans want the NBA's baby face to be. And LeBron James is this big, dark-skinned guy with the beard and tattoos. He's what the NBA doesn't want their face to be. But have you seen LeBron James' track record? What that man has represented from a cultural standpoint, from a political standpoint, how he's always been conscious, used his platform in the NBA to spark conversation about social issues that have been happening within his country for at least the last 8-9 seasons. How the biggest thing that people knock LeBron James about is when he decided to take his talent to South Beach. How that whole show, that whole segment, I believe it was an hour-long segment on ESPN, the funds from that was donated to the Boys and Girls Club. That's the biggest thing you got on him? He doesn't gamble, to the best of my knowledge. He ain't a cheater, to the best of my knowledge. Let's talk about how players such as Richard Jefferson, James Jones, Mike Miller, then the list could go on and on. Careers would have been over a long time ago. Channing Frye was pretty much done. LeBron James revitalized their careers. Let's talk about all the people he's helped. Let's talk about all the people that benefit from his greatness. That's who I want to relate to. That's who I look up to. No disrespect to Steph Curry, but I don't relate to him. LeBron James is who I want to be like. Alfred Telefarrell, Mr. Telefarrell TV. I'm out.